This is my secret formula for how I get 1 million views every week. Let's get it. Yo, what up, family? What up? Good morning to all you beautiful, brilliant, abundantly blessed beings, and welcome back to yet another present moment. This is Ace Anderson Live, where we connect every Monday morning to provide you with weekly inspirational and entrepreneurial tips and tricks to help you ace your life. Now, I want you to congratulate yourself for making it to yet another beautiful dawn with me, your dedicated guide on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you don't know by now, I am an actor, a rapper, a filmmaker, a poet, the ace of all trades, the modern Renaissance man, Ace Anderson, and I am so happy to be here with you all for another blessed week. Now, as we embrace this first light together, I want to extend a special shout out to all you early morning risers joining in live. Your dedication to starting the day with intention and positivity is what makes the A-Team extraordinary. So I want you to grab your favorite morning brew. You know, mine happens to be alkaline water. And let's explore, illuminate, and inspire ourselves to be better with mindful conversation. Now, today, I'm going to share with you my formula for how to get millions of views every week from scratch. Right? I want to finish this workshop with practical tools, strategies that you can use right away, not just to grow your social media following, but to truly build a brand around who you are as a creator, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, in a way that will ultimately let you do what you consistently, what you love to do the most on a daily basis. So as we embark on this week's adventure, let's remember to align our hearts with the fruit of the Spirit. That's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And let us use these divine nine to guide us on the path to living a life that resonates deeply with our most authentic desires. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, you know, what qualifies me to even talk about this at all, right? Well, I am, like I said, I have a BFA in acting from SMU. I studied acting. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just pull this up. But I studied acting. I have a BFA in I studied acting at SMU for 10 years, and I've been involved in the industry for quite a while. But you know, when it came to social media, I wasn't really leveraging it for my acting BFA in initially acting at SMU, Instagram mostly 10 years, and I've been involved designer, as a photographer, quite a while. But I wasn't when it came to social media, anything, I wasn't really leveraging it for my acting BFA. And initially acting at SMU, I grew Instagram mostly 10 years. It's crazy, designer, you know, I'm an actor, and I wasn't getting social media, anything. I wasn't really leveraging a little bit, but I was so initially acting at SMU. I grew 10 years. It's crazy, designer, you know, I'm an actor, and I wasn't getting social media, anything. I wasn't really leveraging a little bit, but I was frustrated acting at SMU. I grew 10 years. It's crazy, designer, you know, I'm an actor, and I wasn't getting social media, anything. I wasn't really leveraging a little bit, but I was frustrated acting at SMU. I grew 10 years. It's crazy, designer, you know, I wasn't getting out of anything. I wasn't never a little risky. I was like, frustrated. I it's crazy. I wasn't getting out of anything. I wasn't never a little risky. I was like, frustrated. Oh, snap. Dang, thank you for letting me know. All right, can we hear? Is everything good? Is the feedback good? Oops, my bad, y'all. All right, we should be good now. Oops. Well, it happens. All right, cool. My bad. I had two sound systems activated. Anyway, so in 2016, something. Let's just go. Let's just go back. So I was posting on social media. I was really trying to get my bearings um, of how to pop off, but it only seemed like models were the ones that were really it would only seem like models were the ones that were successful on social media, and that was kind of frustrating to me because I felt like I had something really awesome to offer, and I really wanted people to I wanted people to engage with the content that I was creating, but I just didn't know how to make it happen. Then in 2016, something interesting happened. I met my wife in the theater scene in Dallas, and it was like I finally got my muse. And I was like, I told her, I was like, yo, let me make you Instagram famous. And she was like, I hate social media, right? And and I want to be an influencer, and that was that, right? Um, we both caught up. We both ended up just getting caught up in the social media, or sorry, we both ended up getting caught up in the acting grind. But I was fortunate enough to have my. Is this? I feel like I'm off. Hold on, my bad, y'all. My settings are all over the place. All right. Let me pull back up my system here. Make sure we're good. All right, cool. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Something interesting happened. Because we were both caught up in the actor's grind, and I was fortunate to have my company membership, which secured me acting work on stage and teaching year round. But and then when I wasn't doing that, I was doing that. When I wasn't doing that, I was doing design and photography with clients to keep up, and I had all these clients to keep up with, right? But for her, she was getting a little depressed, when she was, in between projects. She didn't really have much to do. Now, here's the thing. So she was vegan and had introduced me to how easy and delicious vegan food could be whenever we'd cook together. So I had this idea. I was like, baby, let's host gatherings and cook for everyone, but not tell anybody that it's vegan. And she was on board, and we tricked a lot of people. Honestly, we'd be like, we'd have an event and it'd be like, hey, afterwards we'd be like, hey, how was your first 4th of July, your first vegan 4th of July? And they'd be like, and they were like, what are you talking about? And so after we did that a couple of times, I was like, yo, we got to start a business out of this. And then we decided, we were always cooking in the kitchen. We were like, all right, she started singing in her recipes. I helped her design the graphics, take the photos, and build the brand from top to bottoms. Now, her initials are GR. And so I had this fun idea that, if you add the word eat to GR, it makes great. So I wanted to use the word great to the brand. I wanted that to be like a main central focus of the brand. So in 2017, we launched our catering company, One Great Vegan. She started going to pop-ups and posting on social media, and like honestly, she just took off after that. She started teaching me stuff about social media, like, yo, you gotta post every day. And I'm like, bro, I am an artiste, okay? Right? Great art takes time. I'm not about to be out here posting every day. But she was posting daily, right? Showing her personality, sharing her recipes, engaging with her audience. Within a year, her following grew to 3,000, passing mine, right? Mine was stuck at the 1500 area. And she was just being consistent, and that really should have showed me then, but I was still kind of trapped in my game, in my like, oh no, I gotta be doing it this way, right? Sort of thing. And in 2019, she took a further step. She watched this video that that was like, baby, live is the future, like we gotta go live, right? She started going live weekly, connecting directly with her audience. She was singing in her videos, which was like a huge new thing that wasn't that like nobody was witnessing before, and that was like really cool and exciting. Oh, oh snap. And that was kind of cool and exciting. Um, and then within no time, she grew to her following to about 10,000 by 2020. And now she's got almost 300,000 followers on each platform. And honestly, it wasn't until then that I really realized the power of consistency and engagement. Um, and so, you do all this stuff preparing, and then like everything just falls apart. So I'm just like trying to pull up my notes and stuff. Um, and she grew her following to over 10,000 by 2020. Now she has almost 300,000. And it taught me that consistency and engagement were really the key for all of this, right? So seeing her success, I decided, I'm going to apply these same strategies to my own content. I looked for something that I could do consistently. And like, as an actor, honestly, it was really challenging because like, I feel like, as an actor, I was like, I didn't want to be posting. I felt like it was almost imposter syndrome, I guess, like where I felt like I wasn't really posting. I wasn't able to post stuff about like my acting journey because I felt like I wasn't far enough in the journey to be able to tell people what they think, like, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, it wasn't really something that I like. It took me a long time to try to figure out like what was the thing that I could be doing consistently. Um, and in 2021, I ended up like finding it, and well, it was like more like, I guess it was 2021. Yeah, in 2021, I finally really like started finding like what my thing was that I could easily do. And I hit my first million views on a post, and that was huge for me. And since then, I've been, perfecting a formula that works for me. And today, now I have 200,000 followers on TikTok, and 26,000 plus followers on Instagram. And we both have landed acting jobs from social media too, which just goes to show you, what you can accomplish by being consistent and not giving up. And today, I'm going to share that formula with you. I want you to leave this live stream with practical tools and strategies that you can use right away, not just to grow your social media following, but to truly build a brand around who you are as an actor in a way that will ultimately let you do what you love to do consistently, right? Now, by the end of today, you'll have a clear sense of, one, how to use social media to showcase your talent and personality, how to create consistent content that resonates with your audience, and three, most importantly, how to turn your followers not just into fans who are invested in your journey, but also people that may be potentially interested in hiring you for a gig, or to buy your product, right? So let's dive in, and I'm here to answer any questions along the way. If you have any, leave them in the comments below. So question number one: how do you view social media and why are you successful at it? So to me, social media is much more than just a place to post pictures and updates. A lot of people think about it in this way, right? Now, as an actor, I view it as a tool for storytelling, right? Just like we do on stage or in front of camera, right? It's a platform where you can build your personal brand, practice your craft, and connect with people who resonate with you, with who you are and what you create, right? So I really view social media as this tool to be able to use to perfect my craft, right? That's the goal. Now, how many of us, have fantasized about one day about somebody making a movie about our lives, right? Right. So one of the biggest things that shifted my mindset was seeing social media in this way, was realizing that every post, every story, every video, it's like an opportunity to tell your story, to shoot that documentary. It's like or that movie, that biopic. It's like self-taping, but with full creative control. It's like making your movie and you have all the power. Instead of waiting for auditions or casting calls, instead of waiting for other people to give you an opportunity, you're creating your own content and you get to decide how you present yourself as an actor, as a performer, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you bring to the table. You are the production company, right? If you look at Issa Rae started her production company just on YouTube, right? And like she had a production company. That's how she got famous, right? That's how she was successful, and she just stayed consistent. If you look at some of her early stuff, like it was terrible, but she just stayed consistently with it, and now she's, one of the most successful self-made entrepreneur or producers that we know of. And so here's why I believe that social media, that I'm successful on social media. One is authenticity, right? I've always led with authenticity. People, connect with realness, things that are relatable, especially in the entertainment industry, right? Instead of trying to be somebody I'm not, I focus on showing up as myself, right? Because you will get burnt out. It's very important to me that you show up as yourself no matter what. Whether I'm sharing a skit, talking about my journey, or offering acting tips, I try to be as transparent as possible, right? So, like, I'll give you an example. My first viral post, honestly, it wasn't the most polished thing that I've ever done. I was doing a lot crazier stuff, a lot more polished, and it wasn't a professional video shoot or a cinematic masterpiece, right? It was just me being myself. I found a video. I found a meme that actually Ricky Smiley posted a meme of somebody talking about something they said in church. And that joint just made me laugh. I was like, oh, I need to make a video like this. And I wrote a script based off of this meme, and it was just real simple. It was like 4 or 5 lines, but I saw the scenario and I shot it. I posted it, and I'm creating content that just made me laugh, not for anybody else, it just did it for me. And that authenticity is what connected with people. That video hit 1 million views. I'm getting all these notifications from TikTok, like, what the heck is going on? What the hell? And it was like 2 weeks later after I posted it, right? It wasn't even the same day. And so I was like, dang, like, what the heck? And it just kept going up. And I was like, whoa. After that, I was like, I gotta figure out, I gotta synthesize what worked in this video. So number 2 that's worked for me is consistency. Consistency is king. My wife has a phrase that she says, consistency over coincidence, right? A lot of people expect things like coincidentally to come together, but here's the thing: that might be true, but you increase your likelihood that coincidentally things will come together if you're consistent about it. So if you stay consistent, if you stay on the path, if you keep trying, keep doing things, keep putting things out, eventually you're going to pull up something that you're going to find that thing that will work, right? Right, in the same way that we rehearse and practice our craft, we have to show up regularly on social media, right? If you want it to grow, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not talking like the normal person. Like, if you're not interested in finding success on using this free tool to to build your brand, then don't listen to anything that I'm saying. But if you are, right, we have to really show up regularly, right? It's like, training for a role, and you're refining your skills and staying top of mind with your audience. Because if you don't post, I will forget about you. There's so much content on social media. There's so much stuff that you can be seeing and witnessing. And there's like, eventually, and especially with the algorithm is just showing you stuff that you like, right? So if I'm not seeing things from the people that I'm following, like if the people I'm following aren't posting, I'm just going to forget, right? So I set goals for myself to post on a consistent schedule, whether it's posting short videos, sharing a meme, easy meme, a image, a carousel, a photo shoot that I did, whatever it is, or just engaging with my followers, posting to my story. I just make sure to keep it steady. I make sure I'm showing up as regularly as I possibly can. Right? Think of it this way. If you're auditioning and a casting director sees you once, then never again, you fade from their memory. But if you're showing up consistently, whether that's through self-tape, social posts, performances, you're reminding people of your presence, your talent, and your journey, right? Social media works the same exact way. So number 3, engagement. I always say that social media isn't a one-way street, right? It's not just about posting your own content and moving on. It's about engaging with your audience, and engaging with other people's content. That means responding to comments, asking questions, and creating content that encourages conversation, right? But also engaging with the people that you follow, right? People want to feel like they're part of your journey. And when you engage with them, they're more likely to stick around, follow your journey, and share your work with others. So you want to keep that relationship, that especially if you have less than 30 comments, right? If you got less than 30, you should be commenting on every single one of those posts. I would say even if you have less than 100 comments, you should be responding to every single one of those comments. Like, there's no reason why you can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're spending hours mindlessly scrolling. Better to use that time productively for your brand and respond to each comment. And if the better the comment means that the more they'll engage, right? So if you're asking questions, if you're responding to questions, if you're giving detailed responses, right? For me, I post a lot of content, especially the vegan content that I post is very triggering. And so I like to comment on those because it gets those people to respond. And just the more people are commenting, the more engagement, the more people are seeing your posts. So another thing I've learned is that, social media, especially for actors and entrepreneurs, can be used as a creative portfolio. So you think about it like this: you're already using Instagram or TikTok to post videos. Why not use it as a place to showcase your range, right? Like in a way, like, this is how I've discovered that I have a production company, that I know how to produce content in a way that other people may not. Like, I have my own unique way of easily producing content, and I'm practicing constantly. So I have all of this portfolio of work. Also, I feel like I'm always working as an actor just because I'm working for my own production company. I'm acting in my own productions. I'm creating these little things, and I'm not waiting for somebody to hire me and give me a job, like to say, oh, like, Ace, you look like a good doctor. I've never played a doctor, right? I've never played a doctor on TV. And so I cast myself as a doctor in one of my own videos. And I cast myself as a therapist to show. Now, if a casting director happens to go to my page, they can say, oh, this guy can play a doctor. This guy can play a therapist, right? I don't always have to play a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I always have to play thug number 2. You know what I'm saying? And if that's where you feel like you're getting pigeonholed in a certain role, then social media is the best place for you to be able to showcase your range, right? This is other ways that other creatives have, create these snapshots of themselves in different ways. Every piece of content that you do is like kind of like a mini audition, right? It's a chance for people to see your talent in action, right? So, for example, I started to post comedic skits and behind the scenes content, and it attracted like not just followers, but also collaborators and potential opportunities, right? Social media became a platform where I could network and build connections that I might not have had the chance to otherwise. A lot of people didn't know that I was an actor. Like, because I told you, I was posting a lot of photography content. I was posting boudoir photos. I was posting dance photos of other people. The only time I would post my face would be in my story. And the story goes away. So after 24 hours. So if people didn't go to my story and weren't like actively looking through my content, then they didn't see that I was an actor. They just thought I was this kind of, B-level photographer. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's all about building a personal brand, right? When people follow you, they should get a sense of who you are as an actor, as a person. Your brand is more than, just your headshot, your resume. It's your personality, your unique voice, and how you present yourself in the world. So my formula for success boils down to 3 key elements. Authenticity, number 1. Number 2, consistency. Number 3, engagement. So if you focus on these 3 areas, you'll start to see social media as more than just a platform. You'll see it as a tool that can advance your acting career and help you connect with the right people. And more importantly, it will become a creative space where you can continue to refine your skills even when you're not on set, because technically you're always on set. Question number 3, how do you balance the real need for social media when protecting your mental health? This is a great question. When it comes to social media, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We all know how crucial it is for our careers as creators to be present online, but that constant need to stay visible can take a toll on your mental health if you're not careful. So let's talk about how I balance the real need for social media with protecting my mental health. First off, I treat social media like it's a job. And while it's a job that I actually enjoy, I go into it with purpose. When I log in, I'm there to post, right? I'm there to post. I'm there to find content, inspiration, engage with my audience, and then I GTFO, right? Like, I'm out of there, because the key is not just mindlessly scrolling, right? That can turn into a black hole that sucks up your time, your energy, and honestly, your self-esteem, right? Social media can be a vortex of comparison and perfection, and it's important to stay focused on why you're using it. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Sometimes, I get caught up in the vortex myself. I'll be scrolling endlessly for the quick dopamine hit, watching other people's lives and content. And before I know it, I'm feeling drained and down about, my own progress. So what do I do to prevent that? One, I schedule breaks, right? I take intentional breaks from social media throughout the day. I literally schedule times where I step away from the screen, go outside, or work on something else. Even if it's just a 10-minute breather, that helps reset me and get back to, using social media purposefully rather than mindlessly. Number two, screen time limits. I set screen time limits on my phone, right? All the phones now, all your smartphones have the ability to, set how much time you're spending on a specific app, and then it'll say, hey, let's take a break, right? And it might seem small, but it's incredibly helpful to like just get you out of that mindless scroll thing and losing hours of your day. Number three, curating your feed. Now this one's big. I curate my feed. I make it a point to follow accounts that inspire me and unfollow accounts that I feel like are distracting me, right? I follow accounts that are aligned with my goals and that push me creatively. And if an account makes me feel bad about myself, makes me compare myself too much or adds unnecessary pressure, then I just unfollow. Simple as that. Right? If you trust the algorithm, and believe me, it's smarter than you think, it will start showing you more content that aligns with your interests. That's helpful, which I presume is why you guys landed on my personal feed right now. Right? So the more you engage with positive, motivating posts, the more of those you'll see. You have more control over your feed than you actually might realize, right? One of the most important things that I've learned is the power of mindful engagement. And what do I mean by that? Well, social media can become a trap where you start chasing likes, comments, and validation. But I found that chasing validation just leads to disappointment, especially if your content doesn't perform the way you hoped. So I remind myself that I'm not here for the numbers. I'm here to establish my own brand. I'm here to understand myself, what kind of stuff I post, and to connect with my audience and express myself, right? Focus on quality of your interactions, not just the quantity, right? Another thing I want to emphasize is perfectionism is the enemy of progress. And it's easy to get caught up in thinking that every post, every story, every video has to be perfect. But honestly, the perfection just holds you back, right? Sometimes you just need to post that content, even if it's not 100% polished, right? In fact, some of my best performing videos weren't even perfect at all, right? They were real, they were relatable, and that's what connected with people, right? So to wrap up this section, mental health. One, set boundaries around how you use social media. Don't let it control you, right? Control how you engage with it. Two, take breaks, right? Have screen time limits and so on. And three, remember, perfectionism is not your friend when it comes to social media. Just keep creating and putting yourself out there. That's it. Your mental health comes first always. Social media is a tool like any other tool. It can be used for good or bad. It's up to you to use it in a way that's healthy, productive, and sustainable. Question number 4. If all your social media got wiped away, how would you start again? First of all, damn, that would suck. That would be tragic. I'm not gonna lie. But let's imagine that tomorrow all of my social media accounts were wiped out. They're gone, right? If I had to start from scratch, here's exactly how to approach it. First off, I'd begin with clarity of brand. This means getting crystal clear about who I am as a creator, and what I want to communicate. Right? Being personable. What is my brand voice? Right? As an actor, this is something, we know how to do, right? We know how to speak. And I'll be honest, like, it might be challenging for some of you as well, because I remember there was a time in my acting career where I felt like I could only play roles that weren't like me because I never played anything close to me. I was always doing these extravagant big roles that were like where I had to really get into character. But I was afraid of like playing characters that were close to me because I'm like, can I act like myself? Like, how do I act? Like, just by speaking like me, I don't know. I've only played like something far off from me. And so that was a new territory, uncharted territory for me. Um, and I honestly really got comfortable with it through posting on social media, just like talking, getting used to talking in my story, talking on live. Like that's a part of the reason why I do these live streams every week, because it just helps me understand my own voice and understand like where exactly do I fit, just by practicing, not trying to curate like let me sound like this. Let me make sure that I use a voice whenever I speak so that y'all can really understand. No, I'm gonna just speak like myself, right? And I'll find what works for me. I'll find ways to, better my speaking. How do I articulate better? How do I convey ideas better, and so on and so forth, right? So, that's the first thing. You've got to define your niche, right? Ask yourself, what makes me unique? What's my angle as an actor, as a comedian, as a filmmaker, or whatever role you take on, right? And then let your acting training speak for itself in your content, right? If you are an actor, if you do have that type of a background like I do, right? You don't need to make content about that thing. You can just let that thing speak for itself in the content that you're creating, right? You showcasing your versatility, your humor, your emotional depth, all of that can come through in your social media content. Now, when you're just starting out, the best advice I can give you is to post to every single platform, right? There's like 10 platforms, and my wife has it in a little thing, but I'll show you like my main page down here is here we go. So my main page here shows like my 8 platforms that I post to, right? So we got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And I tried to order them in the way that I'm gonna be posting to them, but those are just 8, right? And there's a couple more. I think there's like Triller and some other platforms. I don't know, but I would say when you're first starting out, especially, just post to everything, right? Don't worry about perfecting it right away, right? Just get out there and experiment, right? Eventually, you will end up learning the different nuances that work on each platform. And let me break down what typically works on each. So on TikTok, you have content that does well is personal. People, want to see the real you. I've seen that, like, people will just pull up their phone and just start talking about whatever subject that's good to them, and they'll, make it. They can be funny, they can be inspirational, they can be educational. It doesn't matter, but it's more personal videos. I see those do very well on TikTok, right? And then I'll see that same person post more curated videos on Instagram. So videos of you talking directly to your audience, sharing your journey, auditions, behind the scene moments, right? That's where you want to build personal connections, and don't be afraid to get raw and honest. Like, I would use TikTok kind of as like your main learning incubator, right? Like, that's where you're gonna just figure stuff out. Like, you're just gonna throw as much stuff as you possibly can at the wall and see what sticks. Like, you know, because people just, like, I think people just scroll on TikTok just trying to find like stuff that's relatable to them, right? And so that's really where you can like just experiment is for TikTok. Instagram, you want to position yourself as an authority, right, in your niche. And so if you're a comedian, you post comedy skits or funny observations. If you're a chef, post food content. If you're an artist, share your work. Instagram is your highlight reel, right? So show the best version of your craft. And I'm not saying like you have to only show the good, clean parts. Like this, we're not getting into the perfectionism. This is just where, like, all right, things that are going to really do well are going to be like this type of content, right? And I know that. And you could post other stuff, but just trust that, the things that will for sure do well are the posts that are a little bit more curated and tailored to being you as an authority, in that. In Twitter and Threads, these platforms are great for hot takes, right? Opinions and commentary. It's less about polished content and more about being witty or thought-provoking in the moment, right? And don't overthink it here. You just want to say whatever's on your mind, right? You're watching the Grammys and you see somebody wearing a funny outfit, and, you're just going to say something about it. You're watching a football game. You want to comment about the football game, or you see something's trending in the news, whatever it is. Or you just like have a hot take on something random. Like you just want to just be like, oh, I don't like whatever, insert thing here. And you just start just spitballing about that. Share your ideas about stuff like that. That's really what does well. And then even if you're going to post like photo content, say something about it, right? In the caption. Don't just post the photo, because Twitter is not really just there for photos, right? So you want to say something about the photo that you're posting, or like some type of a commentary, or commenting on other people's stuff, like tweeting back, replies and all of that stuff. That's really what does well on both Threads and Twitter. YouTube, I like to think of YouTube as my personal TV station, right? This is where you can post longer content, anywhere from 3 to 15 minutes. You can post music videos, you can post podcasts, short films, interviews, speeches, tutorials, right? How-to videos, whatever it is. Behind the scenes, whatever it is, right? And if you've got something to say or story to share, YouTube lets you truly create your own channel. I am using right now, somebody asked, what platform are you using to broadcast this live? So I am currently using Ecamm Live, which I have a monthly subscription, but you can also use Restream. That's another platform that I've used previously, but Ecamm allows you to stream to several different platforms. So right now I'm streaming to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, on both my personal page and my fan page, Twitch, and what's the other one? Twitter. So yeah, I'm streaming to as many platforms that I can right now, and it's great. So I got a couple people watching on every single platform. But yeah, Ecamm Live, it's really great. I think it's better to me than OBS. But anyway, so YouTube, you're treating it like your personal film studio. Like this is where you have a channel, right? Think of yourself like this is your Netflix, right? Like, what are you gonna post if you have the budget to create any type of show that you want? You create it and post it to YouTube, right? And then you could take clips, certain clips and put that onto your other platforms, right? You can take shorter clips, that show you as an authority, for instance, and post it to Instagram. You can, take like a hot take, like maybe one quote, and post it to Twitter and like put a caption on it, when you blah, 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 right? Insert funny thing here, whatever. You could do all types of stuff like that. And there was a casting director that I watched a video. My wife and I were fascinated because they said that YouTube is going to be the new way that they cast people in the future, right? Like they'll find TV show ideas, like all of these platforms, Netflix, Disney, Amazon, right? All these streaming platforms are looking for new content, and they don't care how much content you have. They just want to find stuff that's interesting. So they'll find people that are posting, they have 10 followers on 10 subscribers on YouTube, and they'll pick up a show, be like, hey, would you love to create content for our platform? And then give them a show. And so that's another really cool thing to think about. Like, YouTube is going to be really the future of how people are cast and put into new projects. So if you have an idea for a show, for whatever it is, bro, it does not have to be high-end production. Because if Disney picks you up, if Amazon picks you up, then they'll give you the budget to make it the show of your dreams. All you got to do is just do the groundwork of like, let me put this idea out into the world and do it the best that I can from where I'm at. And the thing is, like, once it's out, then you can perfect it. All right. So one of the biggest things that I've learned through trial and error too is stop blaming the algorithm. Okay? Yeah, sometimes the algorithm is tough, but the real issue is usually this: your content sucks. Okay? And that's okay. Instead of stressing about every post being perfect, start saying this to yourself: I'm posting this content to learn how to make the next one better. I'm posting this content to learn how to make the next one better. That's all that matters, right? The more you experiment, the more you'll learn what works and what doesn't work. You can't get better if you don't post. I had a friend, Markion, who owns Smile Squad, has millions of followers on every platform. He told me, he was like, Ace, like, listen, you're going to have to post 50 videos at least to see and know what your content is, right? And you get to decide, is that 50 videos going to take you 2 months or 10 years, right? Like, how long do you want to wait? You're going to have to post the stuff, so just post it now. Another thing that I learned is that, do you know how many podcast episodes do you have to release in order to be in the top 1% of all podcast creators? Does anybody know? How many podcast episodes do you need to post to be in the top 1% of all podcast creators? 20. 20. That means the bar has never been lower. To be in the top 1%, all you got to do is make it to 20. That means most people don't make it to 20 episodes. They'll start a podcast they never finish. You got to get to 50 in order to even know what you're creating, to be able to like look back and be like, okay, this is what I did. Now I'm learning. I'm getting into the groove. I'm understanding where I'm at. I'm understanding the vibe. I'm understanding the thing. You got to get to at least 50. Right? I'm still perfecting my live stream. As y'all can see, we started the live stream off and I had all this, I had all these technical issues. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get better if you don't post. Now, if you want your content to be shareable, you have to provide value. And this can be as simple as offering acting tips, sharing relatable skits, or even giving a behind the scenes look at what it's like being an actor, right? Think about why someone would want to share your content with their friends and their followers. It's funny. Is it funny? If it's helpful, people will pass it along. So a rule I follow is, after I post every video, and I ask myself, but notice I said after I post this video, so I don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. I ask myself these 5 questions. What did this video provide for the viewer? Is it entertainment? Is it informational? Or is it inspirational? That's this question number one, right? What does this video provide for the viewer? Question number two, what does this video do for me? Does it showcase my skills? Does it build my brand? Does it sell my product or connect with my audience? What does it do for me? Number three, how does this video keep people engaged? Is there a hook? Is there a story? Is there something that pulls people in and resonates with them in a relatable way? How does this video keep people engaged? Number four, is this video worth posting? Did it serve a purpose, or was I just posting for posting's sake? Now that's okay, we talked about that, but just recognize this as you're looking at the numbers that come across, right? Was this video really even worth posting? Number five, if I were a viewer, would I watch this video myself? Okay? If you wouldn't watch it, why should anybody else? Okay? So the questions are, what does this video provide for the viewer? What does this video do for me? How does this video keep people engaged? Is this video worth posting? And if I were a viewer, would I watch this video myself? If you ask yourself those questions, I guarantee you're going to be going viral every single time. Okay? All right, question 5 from the viewers. How do you come up with content ideas? Do you use content pillars? So I'm a big fan of using content pillars because they give you structure and help you stay consistent. Content pillars are the key themes or topics that represent the core of your brand's message and values. They act as a foundation for creating consistent and engaging content across social media platforms, helping to keep your messaging focused and aligned with your goals. For example, my content pillars are: number one, comedy. It's got to be funny. I use humor, whether through witty commentary, memes, or skits, to make people laugh while delivering meaningful messages. Veganism, right? I work to make vegan content that, that's relatable. I want my content to be relatable in a way. Like I feel like I watch a lot of content that people make that's like vegans. No shame on y'all, but no shade to y'all. But I'm like, that could be better, right? I could act that better. I could do better with that. Like, I could make that idea. But I have an acting background. I don't want it to feel like it's like put on or forced. A lot of times I feel like it's forced. It makes I don't feel like that stuff does well. And typically my content, anytime I make stuff about vegans, like, it does really well. I've noticed, and I just really started going a little bit harder at doing that this year. I've posted stuff before that did really well. My highest view, I think, was a vegan one that got 12 million. I believe so. But but anyway, the third pillar is entrepreneurship, sharing stuff about entrepreneurship, building businesses, inspiring others to pursue their passion, self-producing how-tos. I like to showcase how I produce projects, empowering creators to take charge and bring their visions to life. Inspirational, life coaching, spirituality. As you know from this live stream, I often am always trying to, showcase my spirituality and, talking about the fruit of the spirit and giving you guys uplifting tools to use to help you in your life. Then also, entertainment. I just like, I like to create engaging content through music, through acting, storytelling, always looking to captivate and entertain my audience. And these pillars help guide me what to what types of content to post, making sure that everything ties back to my overall brand and keeps my audience engaged and coming back for more. Now, I use ChatGPT for everything. Okay, I use ChatGPT pretty much every day, right? For everything. I used it for outlining this podcast, right? So if you ever get stuck with coming up with content ideas or your content pillars, here's a ChatGPT prompt that I use to generate evergreen ideas, and you can constantly use these. All right, so you can write this down. Also, I'm posting this. It's probably easiest to watch this on YouTube, but wherever you're watching it, I'm sure it's fine. But anyhow, here's the prompt. I want you to do some research for me. Act as an expert Instagram social media marketer. Tell me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, and 10 fears that aspiring performers and entrepreneurs experience with acting, filmmaking, freelance, and entrepreneurship. But put it in a table format. Label the X axis 1 through 10 and the Y axis frustrations, desires, and fears. If you use that what do you call this thing? That prompt, then ChatGPT will give you truly a table where you'll just see all of the things that you should make content about based off of whatever it is your niche is, whatever your target demographic is. So my target demographic is aspiring performers, entrepreneurs, in their experience with this career. The career path is acting, filmmaking, freelance, and entrepreneurship, right? So this helps me get into the mindset of my audience and figure out what type of content they need and want to see. The takeaway here is to get clear on who you are and what you offer. Post consistently to every platform and treat each post as a learning opportunity. As you do that, you'll get better and your content will improve and your audience will grow. Question number 6. How do you stay consistent with creating and posting? So let's talk about consistency. This honestly is where a lot of people get stuck. One of the most important things that I've learned is that consistency leads to growth, right? The more consistently you show up, the more you build trust with your audience, and the more the algorithm starts working in your favor. But here's the big question though. What's better, quality or quantity? Quality, right? But how do you get quality? Quantity, yes. The answer is always quality over quantity, but here's the catch. You only get quality through quantity. The more you post, the more you practice, the better you get at crafting high quality content. You can't perfect a post if you're not creating anything in the first place. So rather than focusing on making everything perfect, focus on showing up consistently and improving along the way. Right? It's like expecting somebody to applaud you in rehearsal, right? If you're expecting good, likes, a bunch of likes on every post, right? It's not going to happen for you. One of the biggest traps that people fall into is obsessing over vanity metrics. I see this all the time. People stress about likes, their views, and their followers, their subscriber count. Bro, your content is the only thing that you should be worried about. Making content consistently, right? They're like, but the way my feed looks, and now I was in the same boat, right? The way my highlight reel is set up and organized, like I'm trying to do something specific, bro. All of that stuff, none of that stuff is working, bro. None of that stuff is working. The content is the king, okay? That's all that matters. The content. Is the content good? Is the content relatable? Right? Ask yourself those 5 questions that we discussed, right? The pressure ends up preventing people from being consistent. And I'm going to tell you right now, stop chasing perfection. You'll never post if you're waiting for everything to be flawless. Don't let those vanity metrics distract you from what's important, which is showing up and putting in the work. Right. Another powerful way to build consistency is something that worked incredibly well for me is challenges, right? Challenges force you to show up daily, push your creative boundaries, and prove to yourself that you can stick to something even when it's tough. Let me give you two examples. In May of 2021, I challenged myself to do something I called May Monologue Madness. The goal, to perform and post 30 monologues in 30 days. Now, I'll be real with you. It didn't get a lot of views, right? It barely got any views, right? Maybe 7 likes, 10 likes, right? Here and there on each monologue. But for me, it wasn't about the views. It wasn't about the likes. This challenge was about seeing if I could create content consistently day after day. And what it really taught me was that content doesn't have to be a huge cinematic production. I was always like going extra. Like I was always doing the most. G would like my wife would always be watching me, edit, and she was like, "Oh, wow, you were going in." Like she would be like, "You're going in," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going in," right? Like I'm thinking that that's a good thing for me to be like putting all this work. Like, yes, there's a time and place for that, right? But when you're trying to be consistent on social media, like on Instagram, a lot of those videos that I went in on didn't do well. They didn't perform well. I didn't get a lot of likes. I didn't get a ton of engagement on it because that's not the content wasn't engaging enough, right? Even though it was good, the stuff I was creating was really good. And like anybody would say, like, damn, Ace is very talented, but it wasn't engaging enough. Right. So I realized I could just grab my cell phone, find a good light, use a blank wall in my house as a backdrop. And that was it. Right. No fancy equipment, no over the top production, just me, my phone, my craft. And it helped me simplify my process and remove the mental barriers that kept telling me it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. And honestly, that foundation is still what I use today. Even when I'm traveling, all I need is my phone, a light, and a wall, and I'm good to go. Right? That challenge wasn't about going viral. It was about building the habit of creating consistently. Then in January 2023, I took on another challenge. This one was a little bit more intense in terms of going in, right? I decided to write and release a song and a music video for every week for 10 weeks leading up to my birthday in March. Now, I'm going to tell you, this was a whole different beast, right? I had to write, produce, mix, and master the songs and concept, cast, shoot, and edit the music videos, all while creating marketing materials to promote each one. It was a full-on production schedule. But the crazy part is that the first music video I released got 400,000 views on YouTube. Still my most popular music video, right? And that's when it hit me. The Stripe Heart isn't just a graphic design company, it's a full service production company. I was treating it like it was just this design company. I didn't realize I had my own production company until I did that challenge. So I was learning about myself. We're capable of creating full-blown cinematic productions in a week from start to finish. What? That's what I can do? So this challenge taught me that we can do a lot more than we think we're capable of, especially when we're working on a tight schedule. So those challenges really helped me. It pushed me creatively and showed me how much can be accomplished when I focus on consistency and don't overcomplicate the process. Because that was the thing. I gotta post this video. I knew I have to post this music video. And nobody even knew that I was doing the challenge, y'all. Nobody even knew that I did a 10-week challenge. When I tell people that follow me, they're surprised. Wow. I was telling people that follow me. I'm thinking they know. Nobody knew, bro. I announced it one time, like early January. Nobody knew that I was doing this challenge. But the challenge was not for other people. The challenge was for me. Okay? So if you're struggling with consistency, I highly recommend starting with a challenge, right? It doesn't have to be 30 days or 10 weeks. It could be something simple like posting, content for 7 days straight, right? I'm gonna post every day, 7 days straight, and posting something, right? And then you commit to the process, stick with it, and then learn from it, right? That's it. Don't worry about how much views you're getting. Learn from it. Oh, this did better than that one. Okay, let me figure out. Don't compare yourself to other people's posts. Compare yourself to where you are. Oh, this one is doing really well. This one got a lot of engagement. This one got a lot of laughs. This one's got a lot of, people told me that I got a lot of fire symbols. People said that was dope. Maybe I should try making stuff more like that. Do another 7-day challenge. Do a 14-day challenge. Do a 28-day challenge, right? Just keep trying stuff until you can get into the habit of building consistency. So your challenges build habits, they simplify your process, and they push creative boundaries. The best part, you'll learn more about your creative process and capabilities than you ever thought possible. So next time you're feeling stuck, challenge yourself. You might be surprised of what you're capable of. You can also use trends as a guide, right? When I'm planning content, I pay attention to what's trending, but I don't let it dictate my entire strategy, right? Trends are helpful, sure, but you need to stay true to your own voice and your own brand, right? So if a trend fits with what you're doing, or you can make it fit, better yet, sometimes like for instance, everybody's talking about Diddy right now, right? Like, you can find a way to put that in your content if you want to, if it feels like it fits. Or you can just, like my wife often does, just avoid the trends altogether. Just like, I want to do this other thing, right? But oftentimes she'll do like trending, she'll use trending recipes, right? So there'll be posts that are like, oh, everybody's doing this type of a recipe, right? So if not, don't feel pressure to force it, right? The key is balance. Use trends to stay relevant, but always make sure your content stays aligned with who you are. Don't just force a trend. Consistency also means planning ahead, right? So to answer another question, yes, I do use a content calendar, and I absolutely recommend it. Having a plan in place allows me to stay organized and keep my content flowing. Even on days when I'm not feeling particularly inspired, I batch create content in advance, and I schedule posts so that I'm not scrambling last minute. Here's what my content calendar typically looks like. So on Sunday, I post 1 reel, 3 to 7 stories, right? Here, I'll pull up my screen for you guys so you can see. Oh. Except nothing's working. Okay. So you guys can see this? All right. So, wait, let me make sure you guys can see it. Can you see it? Oh yeah. Can I zoom in on that? How do I zoom in? Help me. Help me. All right. Anyway, doesn't matter. You guys can kind of see. So Sundays I post 1 reel, 3 to 7 stories. Mondays I post 1 reel. I go IG live every morning, every Monday morning. 3 to 5 stories. Now this is advanced schedule. You don't have to do this. You don't have to follow this exactly. But you gotta stay consistent with whatever you decide to do. You can add in some rest days if you want, but just stay consistent. I think posting 3 to 5 days a week, using every type of, at least hit every type of content, right? So you post a video, a video style. You can post a let me put my face. Let me move my face. What? Sorry. What? How do I do this? Okay, here we go. So you can post videos, post a static, I would say static and video, and post to go live on the platform. So you post one single image, use a carousel, post to your story, whatever. I would say 3 to 5 days out of the week, just to get into the habit of your consistency, right? So Monday, I post my reel. Tuesday, I do carousel. Wednesday, I post a single image, one reel, 3 stories. Thursday, one reel, 3 stories, one carousel. Friday, one reel, 3 stories, one image, one single image. And Saturday, one carousel and 3 to 7 stories. So that's typically how I do. I don't always hit that every single week, but that is just so I know what I should be posting on a given day. So I can look back at this, look at my weekly posting schedule and see, okay, this is the type of stuff that I want to post, right? So on and so forth. And then I have this cool thing in Notion where I can show what my, I can add where I'm posting certain type of content on each day, right? So that's that. So that's my schedule. This schedule, it keeps me on track. It ensures I'm consistently engaging with my audience across different platforms, whether it's on, it's a reel, or a static post like a carousel, or just stories to stay connected with my followers throughout the day. I make sure that I'm showing up on the platform regularly. The other benefit of having a content calendar is that it allows me to plan out my week in advance, which means that I'm not stressing on the day. A lot of people talk about how social media takes a lot of time, takes up a lot of their day. It's like, well, if you plan it before, you spend your entire Sunday, spend as much of your Sunday as you can, devote to figuring out what you're going to post that week. And then save your drafts, and then now you don't have to think about it. Now when it comes to that time, I'm gonna post every day at 12 p.m. and now it's gonna be out, right? I'm gonna post and it's gonna be done, right? I just go through my drafts, hit post, done, right? Then I can comment for 10-15 minutes and then check in throughout the day if I want to engage and reply to all those comments. So it saves me time, it reduces stress, and ensures that I'm always consistent even when life gets busy. So consistency is key. Focus on quantity, right? To eventually improve quality. Right? Stop worrying about vanity metrics and perfection. Use challenges to build consistency and trends as a guide, but stay true to your brand. Plan ahead with a content calendar and batch create to stay organized. So on certain days, I'll shoot literally 3 to 5 videos in a day, right? So I'll write all the videos and I'm like, all right, Tuesday, tomorrow is shooting day. So tomorrow I'm going to shoot 3 to 5 videos, right? And make sure that for Wednesday, editing day, I'm going to be editing all those videos that I shot so that I can be ready for the next week. And I presumably have content for this week that I can post already, right? And you saw the content calendar, so I can go through and post the stuff that I've already planned out. Right. So this approach has helped me grow my following and keep my audience engaged, and know that it can work for you if you stay committed. Now, question 7, how do you grow and maintain your relationship with your audience? One of the most important aspects of social media is to stay engaged. You got to engage with your people. You got to engage with your folks, right? So how do I maintain the connection? Right. First off, you got to focus on outbound engagement. Right? That means commenting on people's stuff, responding to the comments, engaging with others in your creative space, right? Trying to make connections in the industry, right? Follow casting directors, go on LinkedIn, find them there, track them down on Instagram. A lot of casting directors don't have huge followings, which means that you engage with their posts, you're more likely to get noticed, right? And a great example is my wife actually just booked several gigs this way. In fact, 2 weeks ago, she helped our friend land an $8,000 gig, right? Because of a post that she saw on she from a post that she saw on Instagram, which is crazy. Thank you, Queen. Um, that's the power of consistent engagement. When casting directors and industry professionals see you regularly commenting on their engagement, you're gonna be on their radar, right? You never know what that connection might lead to an opportunity, right? And when it comes to growing your audience, doing collaborations, especially on YouTube and on Instagram, right? Collaborations are amazing for that, for building your following, for getting more people engaged with your stuff. So find somebody in your niche, find somebody that you might follow that may have more followers or subscribers than you, and do a collab video with them, right? Get them on your channel in some way. It could be an actor, it could be a filmmaker, it could be somebody adjacent to your thing, it could be somebody that talks about things that you're interested in. Whatever it is, it's about cross-pollinating audiences, right? Their followers get introduced to you and yours get introduced to them, so it's a win-win, right? Do challenges, right? So that's the thing we talked about, right? When you commit to creating content for a set period of time, like 30 days or 10 weeks, right? People start to follow along with your journey. This builds curiosity and engagement, right? And before you know it, they're invested in what you're doing. I had a lot of people from my May Monologue Madness, when I did 30 monologues in 30 days, people were like, they would message me like, yo, man, I see what you're doing, bro. Keep going. And like, I'm only getting 7 likes and stuff on the stuff, but people are watching. People see the commitment to the craft, which is the most important thing. Like, it doesn't matter about the likes. Like, that was likes enough. That was really great to just see people being like, oh, I see you, right? And I get people talking about me, with my live streams. I know, it's not like I'm getting millions of views on my live streams, but I have enough people to see, and I go live consistently enough for people to see the consistency and appreciate and be inspired by the consistency. So when you do challenges, when you challenge yourself to keep consistent, people will notice. And then you'll get those die-hard followers that you won't even know, bro. You won't know. Like, somebody's like, I make sure I watch Jess's videos every single day, every time she posts. And she may never comment. This person may never comment on your post. But damn sure, you better be damn sure that they're going to be following you. They're going to be seeing what you're doing. They're there, ready. Right? I know I have those true, tried and true people on my live streams, and I appreciate y'all for real. Like, it really helps me keep going, but it's because I keep going that y'all are there, right? And so it's the same aspect, right? Leverage trends, right? This is another way to grow your brand, right? So I started to realize that, certain things about vegans versus meat eaters versus carnivores was really trending. So I started to lean into that, right? And I started to make my videos. Some videos, I would repost videos that don't even have anything to do with veganism. And I would just post a caption. So I filmed a video 2 years ago. I would post a caption that said something about meat eaters versus carnivore versus vegans or whatever, right? And like that, those videos do well all the time because people are just triggered by that for whatever reason. And so it gets shared. And when you look at the analytics, it's only like 1% of the people that like the video are my followers, right? So that means if I'm getting, 150,000 likes on a post, like most of those people don't follow me. That's what's crazy to me, right? Most of those people are just seeing me because the content does well and the algorithm is pushing that content to these random folks, right? And I'm drawing in more audiences. My followers go up. I gain about 1,000 followers every month, right? Because of this, and which is awesome. And I love that Instagram shows you now, like, your followers, or this person followed you from your reel. So that's something that's pretty cool too. So you want to nurture your audience, right? It's one thing to get people to follow you, but how do you keep them? right? You keep them by making them feel like they're a part of your journey, right? You share behind the scenes content in your stories, right? You go live, right? Live sessions are one of the best ways to stay connected with your audience, right? You ask for feedback, you get audience feedback, and then you apply it, right? You apply it, you use that feedback. You say, you put on your story, hey, I'm doing a live stream. Send me questions for tomorrow's live stream. And when people engage and ask you questions, answer those questions. Let them know, hey, thank you. I'm going to be answering this question tomorrow on my live stream. Yada, 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 right? Get feedback. When people comment on your post saying, oh, this is ugly, why did you say that? Whatever. Look at that. Like, I'm not saying to make your content about that, but when you apply audience feedback and you're using, like, some people, like, I started when you see all the pauses in my comedy videos, that's all because of the feedback that I was getting. People were like, oh, this is hilarious. The pauses is so funny. And then I was like, oh, wow, the pauses really are funny. And I don't really see anybody doing that. So let's try it. Let's try to do it. Right. So just to recap, focus on outbound engagement, collaborate, join in challenges, leverage trends. But don't forget to nurture and curate your current audience by giving them stuff, that they can see to follow your journey, behind the scenes content, going live, making them feel a part of the journey. Okay. And the last question of the morning is, what are some immediate next steps I can take today? First and foremost, the key is to define your brand, right? You got to find your brand voice. You got to find what you're supposed to be. Damn, this damn Roomba. It's just like all intrusive. I'm trying to finish up my podcast here, man. All right. So, first and foremost, define your brand. You got to find your brand voice. And this is essential for actors, especially because social media is where people will get the first impression of you, right? Ask yourself, who am I as a content creator? Do I make people, do you want to make people laugh? Do you want to be profound and make people think? Is it comedy? Are you the actor who brings emotional depth or quirky energy? It's important to be clear about this because your brand should be consistent across all your platforms. Like, who are you showing up as? What type of thing do you want to show up as, right? I'll be honest, like, kind of a struggle that I'm having is, like, not a struggle, but like, I love doing these live streams and I love being educational, but I would love to incorporate comedy into my live streams. Now, the thing is, I don't really feel like I'm a haha funny person, right? I have a really good sense of humor and I feel like people are joyous and like laugh around me, and I'm a great comedic actor. But when it comes to, like, I'm just making quips, like quippy and witty jokes, like on the spot, like, that's not really my thing. But I would love to find a way to incorporate comedy in a way that it is my thing, So that's something that I'm, like, trying to find, how to show up the same way across all platforms. But the way that I do that right now is I just be myself, right? Like, if anybody that knows me, that sees me in person, knows, like, I love to have deep philosophical conversations, right? Like, that is my thing. I don't like small talk. Like, very rarely do I just engage in, oh yeah, those, how is this? Like, I love to get deep with people, man. I love to have, like, real big ideas, big talk, right? That's my thing. So here are a few actionable steps to include as we end this live stream. So, one, record your first video, right? Just do it, record it. Take a few minutes to record a simple video, like just introducing yourself to yourself. Right? You could talk about who you are. You could talk about what things you're passionate about. You could talk about something funny, observation that you made about the news. You could share a little bit about your journey as an artist, or maybe somebody who's in college with no idea what the hell they're doing with their life. Just whatever. Keep it authentic, because that's the most relatable, and use it as an opportunity to find your social media voice. You should truly have a social media voice. And that doesn't mean you have to speak on camera. There's a lot of people that are, that have been very successful by just like showing their funny reaction, like, whatever. Like, there's one dude, I didn't know he was French. Like, there's one dude, a comedian I follow. He's like, makes all these funny videos reacting. He's made a video posting. I had no idea this dude was French, bro. Like, I was like, what? But it's funny because like all his captions, all the titles are in English. So anyway, you don't have to speak, but you should figure out what your introductory, like, just start with something. Create your introductory video. This is introducing myself to my brand, and my brand to myself, because I don't know what that is yet. So let me start by that. Number 2, create behind the scenes moment, right? People love to see what's happening behind the scenes, whether you're preparing for an audition, you're filming a self-tape, you're working on a project. Capture those moments, right? I'm sure you got tons of content in your phone already. You probably capture a ton of stuff that you don't even post. Post a video of your cat doing something funny, put a funny caption over it. Put something interesting. This is what it is. Like, like zoom in slowly to your cat, just like pondering out of the thing. And like, talk about like, when I'm thinking about what to eat for breakfast, I don't know, whatever. Just come up with some stuff that you already have, right? Post some behind the scenes. That's kind of behind the scenes what I mean. I guarantee like you'll find a relatable moment that you can put a caption over it and make that video go viral. Number 3, engage with relevant hashtags or your Facebook community, right? Take 10 minutes to engage with other actors, with casting directors, with other entrepreneurs, with other creators on social media. Find relevant hashtags and leave meaningful comments on posts that resonate with you, right? This is a great way to network and increase your visibility within the entertainment industry online. Because a lot of times, like, I'm sure you go on posts and you see people that post something and they have thousands of likes on their comment, right? Like, they'll post a comment on some video, viral video. They'll post thousands of likes on that comment. And you'll end up going and clicking to see who that person is, right? So if you can do that for other people, if you like, try doing that for yourself, right? So that's another way. It's all about building relationships. Now, these are small, manageable steps that can help you build momentum, and don't just wait for everything to be just perfect, right? Just start. So that's it, man. I gave y'all a lot today, and I was not expecting this. I was trying to keep this under an hour, but we went an hour and a half. But I think it's necessary, and I'm glad that we could have this chat. But just like that, we're wrapping up another fantastic session here on the Ace Anderson Show. Big love and thanks to each and everyone that joined us live this morning. Your energy and insights light up this community and push us all to level up in every way possible. But remember, I will be posting this on all of my channels, so I feel like the easiest way to view this will be on YouTube. But if you want to go and see it on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitch and on whatever platform that you decide you want to use, you can go for it. I'd appreciate the likes. I'd appreciate the engagement. I'd appreciate the comments that you leave on these videos. Don't forget, we're here every Monday morning at 6 a.m. bringing that heat to start your week off right. If today's conversation got you fired up, inspired, or just curious to learn more, please drop a comment, share this stream, and tell a friend, because word of mouth is the best influencer. Keep Ace Boogie in your thoughts and prayers, and I promise to do the same. Also, follow me on all social media platforms at Ace Shot That, because I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Snapchat, wherever you use social media. come follow your boy, and let's keep the A-team growing strong. Until next time, y'all, remember to always align yourself with truth, trust, and patience, and I promise you will ace your life. Peace.